This video covers how to configure your HinksPix Pro controller to work with a DMX or DMX 1.11, DMX 1990, or sometimes referred to as a RS485 output. Now, that is the green jack on the controller, and this output is used to control legacy devices using the DMX 1990 or DMX E1.11 protocol. So, if you are using X-Lite, please skip to the next section. There's an easier method to do that. If you are using this HinksPix PRO controller with a console or other applications that is not X-Lite's, you would need to configure your controller using the design tool within the HinksPix. Now, this is not an intensive video on the entire design tool. It is simply to show how to set up the DMX port within that context. So, go to the design tool. The first thing we need to do is we need to actually define the universe and name. So we'll just put in here DMX 45 output E1.11. All right. And we're going to give it a universe. Now, of course, keep this in the context of your overall design. We don't have anything else here, so we're just going to use universe 1. And we can output up to 512 channels. Now, if you do not use 512 channels, you can put a lower number. So, for example, if you're using channels 1 through 16, you could simply just use 16, and it'll only use 16 channels. That's more efficient for your controller's operation. We'll go ahead and leave it at 512 here. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is go up and check off this DMX box. That makes the DMX green connector physical port show up. Now this, we simply click over here in the string, and we associate this physical port with this logical name. And you can see now it's put the DMX 485 into here, and now we have DMX Universe 1 associated with the port. You would then, of course, save your entire configuration, and then you would load it over under Manage Controller Configurations. After that controller reboots using the reset function, your controller will be sending DMX on the green jack using Universe 1 and up to 512 channels. Now, if you're using X-Lites, simply come into X-Lites, set up your controller. So on the Controllers tab, open up the controllers and add your HinksPix Pro. Select the appropriate version. So vendor is HinksPix, model is version 1 or version 2 or version 3. Okay, once you've done that, and you should now see that it's available, you'll see a little green light, you can now go over here to the layout. So what you can do is I'm going to go ahead and add a prop. Now this could be any kind of prop. It could be a moving head prop, so you may have a model you've loaded, or it may just be a string of pixels connected to, let's say, a legacy controller that's a dumb controller or PWM based controller. Okay, so now what we can do here is go over to controllers, and we're going to select our HinksPix Pro, click the visualize button. This will bring up this box. Let me shrink this down a bit here to make this fit. Now the things that you can map are over on the right hand side. So if you had a moving head or a 3-channel controller or a fog machine or anything like that, you would have that over here. So you do have to add it as a model first. Now, a single string of pixels is not actually really a controllable thing. We're just making an assumption here. So what I'm going to do is just drag this down to serial port. A DMX port is also known as a serial port under RS485. So you simply drag it down there and you're set. You just close this box. And if we go back to the layout, we will now see that it's set up for the HinksPix Pro on this port. Now, not to make this any more complex, it is also possible within X-Lites to simply just map a product or a prop or device directly to a port. And you can do that by using Start Channel. And you can go over here, click this button, use your Start Channel 1, select your universe, and we can actually output this to a specific controller. In this case, I'm going to say any, so it'll always send out to DMX Universe 1 on any controller's address. And we would say Universe 1. So now this particular device, which would normally have 150 channels, so Universe 1, that's the #1, 150 channels from Universe 1, Channel 1 to Universe 1, Channel 150. Now again, This is just an example. You would not actually hook a string of pixels up to a direct E1.11 port. You would have a device controlling that. So you can send data directly to a specific DMX channel. Though we do recommend the visualizer function, as this is much easier to set up.